Welcome to Campaign 2025 in Mansfield. I'm Steve Cosio, and today we are talking school board candidacy. And to my right, that would be to your left, we have my co-host who's been, this is now your second year of doing this with me, Karen Marcucci.
I'm so excited that you asked me back.
and we're happy to have you here. And we talked about all of the things that you've done, the 3 terms with we did that in Jesse Cannon's interview. So if anybody wants to know a little bit of background about Karen Marcucci, go listen to Jesse Cannon's. And so in this case, we can just hop right into to our interview.
Oh, good. We can put him in the hot seat now.
In the hot seat today is running for place 3, Jason Thomas. Welcome to About Mansfield.
Great. Thank you for having me.
Who is Jason Thomas, and why is he running for school board?
Okay, a little bit about me. My name is Jason Thomas. Originally from Birmingham, Alabama, born and raised. Product of public school, Birmingham public school system, K through 12. A great 12 years. Raised a little bit different. I'm 47. I'm what they call a zennial.
A zennial?
Zennial, yeah. That's something.
So it's like a Gen Z?
No. X and millennial. Because I'm right on the cusp.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, I'm that generation that had rotary phones. There was no cordless phones. We went to cell phones didn't exist.
Yeah.
No VCR. So I've transitioned through all the technology. And what makes me a little bit different than other zennials is the fact that my parents were the silent generation. So they were very old school. My dad was born in 1929. My mom was born in 1939. So I was raised very different from my peers who are also zennials. So it makes me a little bit different. Live here in the Mansfield ISD area over in Grand Prairie for the past 15 years. Moved here by way of Atlanta, Georgia. I finished business school at Emory University. Got a job out here in Arlington, Texas, selling propane and propane accessories like my name was Hank Hill. And so that's what kind of brought me. Yeah, come on now. But yeah, that's what brought me out here. And I was selling. I was in charge of propane operations from Oklahoma all the way down to the southern tip of Texas. So great learning curve. And I met the love of my life right before I moved here. Her name is Amanda, and she is an educator in the district. And she's been in education about 20 years. And she's made her way all the way up to principal. So. Love and support her. And we have 2 twin boys. Their names are Aaron and Jackson Thomas, and they are first graders.
It gets better. I just want you to know. I have twins as well. It does get better.
It's gotten better. After they got past age 3, it was just a wonderful transition because they could talk. They could tell me what they needed. They can even go get stuff for me. So it's been good.
It's life-changing, I agree. But it does get better, even from here.
That whole getting things for me, it really is one of the perks of being a parent.
Definitely. And they're 7, so I have like 11, 12 more years of it. Hey, come grab this, come grab that.
That's right.
And your other question was, why am I running for school board?
Yes, sir.
Well, like I said, my kids just entered the district. So prior to the last 2 years, I've been really busy traveling all over the country with other jobs and stuff. And I really just started to sit down. And over the last 3 years, I've been hearing things about what's going on in the school board. And what I was hearing and what I was seeing, I didn't particularly care for because policies were being made that weren't about making education better or helping the educators in the school district. When I talk about that, I'm talking about book bans. I'm talking about policies that just weren't very focused on enhancing education. And so I got to looking at that. And then I found out about a group called Patriot Mobile Action. And when I found out about them and found out what they stood for and what they were doing as far as Tarrant County goes, I became even more bothered. Because they were putting partisanship into education, and there are no Republicans and Democrats when it comes to kids. Mm-hmm. And I had a real problem with that because at the end of the day, the focus needs to be all kids, and it needs to be everybody.
I think that's a good point, too, if people don't realize, but the school board election, when you run, you don't file as a Republican or a Democrat. These are nonpartisan seats.
And the same applies to city council.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And so those are the things I didn't like. And the fact that this group had not only gotten 4 members on our school board, but they gotten 7 others throughout Tarrant County, taking over school boards all over. Mm-hmm. And so it just disturbed me that as a taxpayer, 50% of my property taxes go toward the school district. That's how the system's set up. And it disturbed me that a group not in my school district, not even in my county, can influence and make decisions on what happens to my kids and the other kids in the district. So that's why I'm running, to bring the focus back to the kids in the district, the teachers in the district, and to bring the power back to the taxpayers and the people in MISD, because that's a problem for me.
Building on that a little bit, what are some specific opportunities for the board to do better, and why do you think you'll be effective in implementing that change?
Something the board can do better is better collaboration with the city of Mansfield and the surrounding cities, because I think there's information there that we're really missing the mark on when it comes to actually building budgets and everything else, because the cities, and let's see, we have multiple cities in Mansfield. I think it's Grand Prairie, City of Arlington, City of Mansfield, and now I think Venus down there in Johnson County. So we've got all those cities. They know where the construction is happening, where the growth is coming. And I think with the school board, I know they meet now, but I think there needs to be more collaboration. And one thing I am, and I always will be, is a bridge builder. I ensure that, I reach out to other people and work across different industries. And currently what I do now, I work for Tarrant County, and that's part of my job, to talk to the cities within Precinct 2. And in Precinct 2, we've got the same cities. And I think I do a good job as, in my current role as Director of Field Operations, of talking to all the cities and finding out what's going on. I think the school board needs to do a better job of finding out where the housing permits are, where the housing starts, where the growth really is, so that we can be focused on moving the resources and the funds in the right direction.
What are some of the concerns? You say you've gone out in the community and you've talked to the people in your Precinct 2 district. What are some of the major concerns that you're hearing, things that would apply to the school district?
Oh, well, I can tell you some things that would be affected. Primarily if the big thing that will be affected and people are concerned about is having a good school district. Because when you look at this area, the growth has been huge. It's been great. And people are coming here for the same reason I came here, probably the same reason you two came here. Have great school district, because when you have a great school district, that means you have solid property values. And if you have solid property values, you can move into a house. And one thing I didn't mention, my minor in business school was real estate finance. Property values go up continually, on average, probably about, I think the number was like 5% per year, and that was back in 2009. So with values always going up and you having a good school district, it only helps towards that retirement goal and everything else that you have. So that's a concern. People want their school district to be good and continue to be good. And I think we fell off a little bit. We had an A rating. I think we dropped down to a B, but small drop. But I think we can get back up by focusing once again, on education and the kids.
So to build on that, what are some things that the board has done well that you would like to keep?
One thing that I think the board has done really, really good is actually focusing on the kids. When I tune into board meetings, I see they're praising the kids' accomplishments and everything else. And when I was in school, it was a long time ago, by the way. Back when I was in school, that was big to me, having the kids, get to experience certain things and see the joy in their faces from being recognized for little things, spelling bee, being recognized.
Oh, that's a big thing for me. I'm a terrible speller.
Math competition, whatever competitions they have within the district, I think it's a good thing. It's going to be great to see Summit High School, who just won the state championship. Woo-hoo. See, they're going to be recognized. And I think they do an outstanding job of making kids feel appreciated and respected and praised. They get the praise that they deserve, because sometimes they don't hear it at home.
So that'd be like our version, Mansfield's version of inviting the team to the White House would be inviting the team to the school district board meeting, and recognizing them in front of the entire district is.
And that's a real highlight, I will tell you, as a board member as well, to meet some of these talented athletes, and then when they go make it big, you're like, oh, I met them way back when.
Yeah.
It's pretty phenomenal. Well, that's interesting, because that brings me to another question. If you don't mind, Steve, I want to jump on in. If students had a vote in the school board decisions as to who gets elected, what issue do you think they would bring up for the board to consider?
Probably, I think, with all the talk about housing costs and everything else, because, housing costs have gone up. They want to be able to, I think their future is going to be a huge concern for them, future for jobs and employment opportunities and things like that. And I think right here in Mansfield, there's going to be a lot of good job opportunities and growth opportunities. So I think they're going to really be concerned about the future and being able to have a good future and have a house and those things, because the American dream is getting further and further away. And I think because they're so connected with the internet and social media and everything, and the algorithms are feeding them information. Right. I think that's one of the top things that's at the top of their mind. Like, what is the future going to be like when I leave my mom's house? Can I ever leave my mom's house?
Yeah.
And dad's house? I think those are real concerns.
It's a real concern of mine. Yes.
Yeah. It is a real concern. My 24-year-old just moved back home.
Right.
Yeah.
And I think that's at the front of their mind, because they're seeing their brothers and sisters come back home. And, some of them, they're probably thinking like, how can I do this? Can I have a bright future? Can Mansfield ISD help me with that? And I think Vision 2030 is something that I think is helping and focused on getting kids down that path. I think, if I remember right, it's life, career, and college ready. Right. Those three things, making sure the kids are life, career, and college ready, and making sure that happens. And I think that's going to be a real concern for them going forward, because they want those things and they want that future, but it's looking bleaker and bleaker.
As a school board member, what do you see as the board's roles and responsibilities?
The board's roles and responsibilities are to provide oversight of policy and to ensure that the policies are focused on meeting the school board's objectives and ensuring that we're supporting the superintendent achieve their goals and making sure that the goals are focused on what the area needs. And that, once again, circles right back to what I was saying about collaboration across the cities, because the cities have goals and objectives too. And the school district is an important piece of those goals and objectives. I know right here in Mansfield, I sit on all four of their TERS boards. That's tax incentive redistribution zone. So I sit on all of them, and they have a lot of good things coming. And a lot of it is geared around the quality of students coming out, because they're putting jobs down here in the area. The city's putting jobs down here. They're putting think tanks down here to help people start small businesses. So we've got all these things on the horizon that'll be built in the next 4 to 5 years right off of Heritage Parkway. Exactly.
Right next door, there is coming an innovation center.
Innovation center, that's what it's called.
Is going to be built right next door.
And stuff like that. That innovation center is going to be a great tool for those kids who are worrying about their future. They can go in and come up with ideas. They could be the next, have the next $1 million idea, but we got to set them up for success so that they can go down there, engage these people. And we got to continue as a school board to ensure that we're putting out the best product so that the businesses want to come, because truth be told, a lot of people live here. We've got a lot of houses and a lot of people living here, but a lot of people driving away to go to work. I spent the last, I've been here 15 years. I spent the last 13 years driving 45 minutes to work every day.
Yeah.
And now this is the first time in 15 years that I'm able to actually have a short commute. I work over in Kennedale now. And so, I'm spoiled now. I've never had this in my life.
It's amazing. I
amazing.
have the same situation, and it's a mile to get to work, and I love it.
So, yeah, my commute's 7 minutes.
Outstanding. God bless you.
Yeah.
Because I was when I lived in Pennsylvania some years ago. My commute was an hour and 20 minutes each way.
That's my husband's. Yes, it's
Yeah.
challenging. Talking about money and all the things that go on with that, it does cost a fair bit of money to run for school board. So can you tell us more about who your top 3 donors are?
My top 3 donors are friends of mine, people I went to school with. Little known fact, I attended the United States Military Academy at West Point. My first 3 years of education were there. Unfortunately, I left my senior year and ended up finishing up at UAB for personal reasons with my mom. However, my top 3 donors are Academy graduates who I forged a friendship with, and we've been friends since 1997. And so they had no problem knowing who I am and what I stand for, no problem in supporting me.
So do you have any political action committees that are supporting you?
No PACs at all. All my fundraising has been friends and family. I haven't even made it out of friends and family round yet. So I honestly haven't. And so, with that being said, I still yet to shake the local tree to see what assistance I can get here. So
being a school board trustee takes more time than just the couple of hours that it takes to be at a school board meeting. Mm-hmm. You have to go through training and to be a school board trustee, and there's much more than just, again, the couple of hours at a board meeting. The simple question is, do you have the time to do this, and what will you be sacrificing in order to be a school board trustee?
Okay, 2 questions. Okay, great. So, so my personal motto is difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week with me. You're sitting here talking to a gentleman who, when somebody tells me it's going to take X amount of time, I tell them, nope, this is how much it's going to take. Case in point, when I left the academy, transferred to UAB, and they said, okay. Mm-hmm. The advisor sat down and said, hey, we made your schedule for you. Here's how long it's going to take you. You graduate in 3 years, and you have your engineering degree and everything. This is the schedule we made for you. So I looked at it, took it back, sat down my schedule, said, this is the schedule I made for me. And he said, that's going to be difficult. It's only an extra semester of school. I said, that's fine. I'll do it. And he was like, but that's too many hours. How are you going to do it? And I promise you, I not only went to school full time, I'd wake up at 3 a.m., go to UPS over on Oxmoor Boulevard in Birmingham, in Homewood, Alabama, unload box trucks at UPS, eventually became a supervisor, and then I go to school the rest of the day. So 3 a.m. to 6 p.m., that's what I did. I'm a kid who went to the academy, woke up. I'm a guy. I'm not a kid anymore. I'm a little old for that. I got a lot of gray now. But I went to the academy at the tender age. Well, actually, I went to basic training when I was in high school. Like I said, difficult takes a day, impossible takes a week. So it's all about prioritizing. It's all about making sure you do things. And when I was in high school, I did basic training then with full intention to join the Army, because I told you my mom was silent generation. Mm-hmm. And in her generation, they had a 2-room house, 12 kids.
Wow.
Once you turn 18, you had to go. And so she held on to those philosophies, and I had it in my head that I needed to join the Army. So that's what I was going to do, and then pivoted and went to West Point. So that's just who I am when it comes to doing things. From the military academy, I worked full-time. I worked full-time at UAB, finished my degree, then took a job up in Pennsylvania.
So what's your degree in? What kind of engineer?
Mechanical engineer.
Excellent.
Okay.
I'm a chemical, so
I know. I wanted to do chemical, but West Point didn't offer it because I love chemistry. West Point only offered mechanical and civil.
I like this guy.
Yeah. So, all right, to bring this all back to current day.
Question.
All right, you're serving on the school board, and you now have an appointment on Saturday from say 9 to 4. What are you normally doing on a Saturday that you'll have to give up?
The biggest thing, and this is going to be a real sacrifice, is watching Alabama football.
Yeah, but that's only in the winter.
It's only in the winter. That's only in the fall and September to
but
usually.
But you'll get some good football. You'll get some really good football.
It's usually from Labor Day until the national championship. But last year we weren't as fortunate. But that'll be it. I'll be giving up football on Saturday. Other than that, there's no other sport. In my eyes.
As I'm about to go to Phoenix for spring training baseball.
I could play baseball really good, but I never got into watching it. I can watch it live. I cannot watch it on TV.
All right.
That's golf for me. No way.
Do you have another question? Let's get out of this.
Sure.
Oh, you had another question, though. You did.
No, that was it. That was it. I asked the 2-part question. Do
and
you have the time to do this, and what are you giving up? So,
I would give up football on Saturday, and then the other thing is I'll give up a little bit of sleep. One thing I pride myself in is going to sleep like 9:30. You can find me in the bed.
Yeah.
Like TV shows. Who needs a TV in the bedroom? Let me go to sleep.
There we go.
Because I need to recharge.
So switching gears a little bit and talking about what you do now that I'm not on the school board, I have a lot of time to spend on a lot of legislative priorities and things that are going on. I've been able to spend a lot more time looking at bills. So that was one of the questions I have for you. Are there any bills that are in the legislature currently that you have strong feelings about or that you're watching or advocating for or against?
I think I think House Bill 3, is that the voucher bill?
Oh, yes.
That's the one I'm really watching and paying close attention to because because of nature, because vouchers, I'll just say it, don't like them, not in favor of them. I think it's a situation where people are being duped by the phrase, school choice. Mm-hmm. I had an interesting conversation a couple of years ago. I was at the hospital and somebody, gentleman was there. He's like, I can't wait till I get vouchers. So I get a voucher, I can send my kid to private school. And I asked him, I said, so how are you going to pay the difference? And he was like, what do you mean pay the difference? I said, yeah, private school is about $40,000. So per year, you got to make up that difference. Like, it's not going to cover it all. I said, no, that's not how it works. They're going to give you an amount, and then you got to make up the difference. And so people don't fully understand what that is.
Right. And
so I think as far as in my opinion, I feel like they're probably going to pass. And if they do pass, I think I don't know. We'll have to wait and see what happens as far as the impact for the school district goes. But I am a believer that people will go and test the waters, but I think they're going to come right back because there are quite a few barriers to that private school education that I don't think a lot of people plan or prepare for. The people who are already doing it will continue to do it, and they're not on the school district's rolls anyway.
And I just wanted to clarify a little bit that House Bill 2 and House Bill 3 are being considered together in the House. And so even though they're separate bills, the thought is that they're going to be passed the same. And so I guess technically House Bill 3 is about the school choice opportunity and House Bill 2 is about the funding. But again, they're considering those two together. So I just wanted to clarify that.
And then there's also the underlying of, all right, I'm going to send my kid to private school. The school's 45 minutes away. Well, wait, the school's not going to come pick them up. There's no busing. I have to drive my child a minimum of 45 minutes, depending on traffic and
depending on where the school is.
And there are no school lunches. Mm-hmm. And now I got to make my kids lunch every day. And there's more to it than just the how am I going to pay for what's not included in the voucher.
Right. And like I said, I think people are going to test the water because the novelty of saying my kids go to private school, it's a cool thing, right? It's one of those, hey, my kids go to this great private school. But once they see the reality of it, I think a lot of people are going to bounce back and come back to the public schools. We'll happily accept them back, and then we'll go from there. But we got to see.
So kind of along those lines, I've been amazed at what public schools can offer our students. The classes my children have been able to take is just mind-boggling to me. And so what subject or class is now offered in school that you wish you could have taken when you were in school?
Oh, I think I would have done, I know here they have a lot in the audiovisual arena. I love that. Because one thing I did when I was in elementary school, we had a audio video club, and we go around, we make videos, we do the editing, we do everything else. And Birmingham Public Schools, I never had that again after 5th grade.
Well, and I have to give a plug to Steve here. So not only could you learn these skills, but you would have the opportunity to intern at a place.
I was going to say, you need a job, you can come work here.
But Steve's invested a lot in our students and given them opportunities to use their skills. And I have a daughter that's been involved with that too, and she's currently working with a marketing firm. It is a tremendous opportunity. Sign me up.
Yeah, it was super fun. But it was a long time ago, and our cameras were a lot bigger than anything you have now. And it had a cassette on the side, and you had to learn how to prop it up. You had to set it up, get the right angles, and the whole nine. And I was in like 4th or 5th grade.
I'm going to give you 3 words and just let you roll with it. Diversity, equity, and inclusion.
All right, so let's go. All right, so as far as diversity goes, Mansfield ISD is probably one of the most diverse school districts I've seen. When you look at the demographics of the district, it's, I want to say 33% African-American, 29% Hispanic, and 25% Caucasian, and then the rest is just a rainbow. It's a litany of folks from all different races, all different religions. So, and diversity is a good thing, because one thing I'll bring to the school board is not just diversity in race, but diversity in way of thought. Because if you look at the school board in its current state right now, you've got doctors, you've got professionals in other arenas. I'm going to come with the engineer's perspective. I'm going to come with a more of a financial dig in and look at it and think of things a little bit differently, probably than some of the other school board members. And you need to have a diverse school board with a diversity of thought, because the district has a lot of things going on. We're building a lot of buildings right now. I've done lots of construction projects. I've done a lot of project management. So those are things that I can look at differently than some of the peers. So that's one thing. So can't get away from diversity. It's here. The district is diverse. The school board is going to be diverse in trains of thoughts and everything else. And I think it's a good thing. Equity, all schools should be treated equal, no matter whether you're in South Arlington, whether you're in Grand Prairie, whether you're down in Johnson County or in Mansfield proper. They should be funded equally. They should be visited by school board members equally. They should be, scored equally. When a principal's not or an educator is not performing, they need to be handled equally. So, shouldn't be different rules for different folks. Yeah. And I'm a firm believer in that. And the inclusion part, bottom line, inclusion is great. And here's why, because at the end of the day, heaven forbid something happened to one of my boys, right? Because it's all over the place. We're building all these buildings, and guess what we have to do with these buildings? We have to be compliant with the local code. And that local code involves handicap access. It involves all these other things. We don't just build a conference room and not have visual aids or things like that to help people. You have to put Braille on the sign. So education is inclusive. Can I tell a quick story?
Tell a quick story.
Okay. My cousin Walter, he's much older. Like I said, my parents are older. So Walter's older. Walter was born blind. Okay. He's born legally blind. Couldn't see anything. And Walter, despite his disability, graduated high school. My cousin Walter went on to University of Alabama, Birmingham, graduated college, and he went on to become a productive member of society, earning an income, paying his tax dollars, and helping to push this country forward. So only thing that made that possible was the fact that he was included. He had an opportunity to get those things despite his disability. So inclusivity is necessary. And, I think it's no matter what, you have to include kids with IEPs. You have to be able to provide, because at the end of the day, we all make this place called the United States go round, and everybody can and will contribute if given the opportunity, and they're included.
With the last couple of questions, Karen, what you got?
Well, I've got a fun one for you, just another one. This has been a lot of fun for me asking other candidates this, but if the school board had a mascot, what would it be?
Current state, it would be the Patriot Mobile Action icon, because 4 of our school board members were posted up and funded by Patriot Mobile Action according to their literature. This is not something I made up. Back in 2022, they put it out there and said Kezia Farrar, Craig Tippings, who I'm running against, Bianca Benavidez Anderson, and Courtney Lackey Wilson was the 4th one, were all supported by Patriot Mobile Action, which means they have 4 seats on the school board, which also means 4 out of 7 is a majority. That means they can do whatever they want to do. So that means Patriot Mobile Action runs Mansfield ISD, which also means they can make and call all the shots in Mansfield ISD, and they're from Southlake and not from Mansfield. So current state, that would be the logo. If we change some things, I think we can come up with another one.
Do you have any ideas?
Let's change it first, and then I'll get back to you.
Okay. In the couple of minutes we have left, if anybody out there listening wanted more information about Jason Thomas, do you have a Facebook, a website, a TikTok, Tinder? What's going on with you?
I don't have a Tinder. My wife would kill me.
Okay.
All right. And is that even a thing still?
I don't know.
Okay.
I've been married 38 years.
I've been married 15, so I don't have a clue. So, honey, I'm not on any dating sites.
There you go.
Well, you can find my campaign page is votejasonthomas.com. All my handles are votejasonthomas.com. So you can find me I'm most active on Facebook on my campaign page. I am an open book. All my socials are wide open, so you could feel free to go and grab me there. And yeah, I think that's it.
Anything else you want to add before we say goodbye?
Well, I just want to ask that everybody please take the time to listen to this podcast. Know that this is who I am. I'm a product of some silent generation parents. rooted in traditional values, grew up in the church. And I'm out here in Texas, and I'm trying to do what's right for kids and for the constituents and the people who pay their tax dollars into the school district. And so I want to return the power to you and give you an opportunity for your voice to be heard. And I want to make sure that Mansfield ISD is the school district of choice, so that we don't even have to worry about the private schools. We don't have to worry about the charter schools, because everybody will be clamoring to get in here.
VoteJasonThomas.com.
VoteJasonThomas.com. Thank you.
That's where you can find the information. By the way, to those who are out there listening, this interview was recorded Monday, March 10th. And Karen, this is our last interview.
Wow. What happened to the other three?
We'll get into that later. There are three candidates who have declined the interview, the request to be interviewed, and so.
Oh, that makes me sad. These are always so much fun.
So we are three and done. Jason, thanks for being here, and best of luck on May 3rd.
Thank you so much, and I'll be out poll greeting April 22nd through the 29th, because that's early voting. And that's when most people go out and vote. So you'll see me out there. And if you see me, don't hesitate to come up and just talk. We could talk about old times, what your concerns are, everything else. I'm an open book. So feel free to ask me any question.